Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
Thursday.
Wowzer.
We got 4 here tonight,
I'm pumped.
and we're gonna
I
have a
am
good night.
We've
Huh.
got a serious king.
Man,
This is it. The throne is going on display right here.
I mean,
So-
this is the last one, right?
Yeah, I don't think
So
so.
if you haven't watched the King of the Hill series that we started a couple weeks ago, we're pairing a couple whiskeys against each other. Well, every week that hill gets a little bit higher because you got a winner go against a new one.
Especially if it's a winner that's been on the top for multiple weeks. So
And we're that's where we're starting to climb.
Right,
We're starting to
right.
climb the hill now.
I feel like this is a competition where either one of these guys could win the national title, but they ended up in the same bracket, and now one of them's going to
One of
make
them's
it,
gonna
one
go
of them's
down.
not.
Right, yeah.
But they both deserve to be in the final game.
This is true.
Just going to throw
This
that
is
out
true.
there.
People are digging the intro.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
gosh, yeah. Let's
Well, of
back up and
course.
say hi to everybody.
You played that yourself,
I
right?
did.
All right.
Hey, is the audio okay? Hopefully it's not too loud. Make sure.
Holy
but,
loudness.
I hope
I can't really adjust this if we're turning it down, hopefully. Let's see who's on tonight, guys. Scroll back to the top.
StreamYard's on. Hey, StreamYard.
StreamYard. Hey, streamer.
I'm guessing
Hi, StreamYard.
Tamdhu will dethrone Glendronach. What?
What?
That's a risky call.
Sweet Sherry notes, but we shall see, Jason.
The block is on. What's up,
How we
Brian?
doing? On Tamdhu, too.
Tamdhu.
Good to see you, Blocklinger.
Yeah, that's true. Hit that like button.
Everybody's
Thanks, Kim.
betting on Tamdhu. I don't know, man. Glendronach's, that's a tough one.
Glendronach's the one that's defending. I mean, it's not like it's a slouch here.
Mr. Girl. Ahoy, mates.
Ahoy,
to
everyone.
Everyone, good to see you, sir.
Cheers to everybody. Cheers
Zach
to you.
and
Happy
Cheers,
Thursday,
guys.
Happy
gents.
Thursday.
Damn. Survived.
Yep. I don't work tomorrow, so
What?
well, I'll take the day off.
All right, fair.
I did too.
Oh, man. Okay, everybody. We got a lot
I
of
did
people
not.
on here. People,
But so if you're not following along, go and look at the comments, see who all's watching. Say hi to people you know, hi to people you don't know. That chat is what is the benefit of this live. There's so much discussion going on.
We got a Glendronach person, Green Valley.
Green Valley voted Glendronach. All right, that's
we'll
good.
take that.
Alan, Brad Murphy. I see Bobby J.
Alan
Trooper
saying not
Alejandro.
opening Glendronach till it wins.
really?
Wow.
This is going to be interesting. So something else to your point about commenting, and we're going to interact with you guys a lot tonight, but we also have something else that I found.
Yes.
Cross your fingers it works okay, but we're going to have some interaction with you guys live. So we're going to showcase that here shortly. But get your phones out. If you're on your computer, get your phones out. If not, maybe get a browser or another tab, because we're going to have you guys interact with us live here shortly on a few things.
And if you have these bottles, that's
Even better.
Even
Yes,
better for
that's
the
the key.
interaction. True.
If you have one of these, either one or both or whatever, bring it open it up, pour a tiny dram if you're working or doing whatever you need to do, just a tiny
And
dram.
if you're working, pour a big dram.
Yeah,
If you're driving,
If you're driving, maybe not.
Yeah.
If you're driving, well, that's your own call.
Maybe pull over.
That's your. Hi, Brian.
We are not
We're not responsible.
law enforcement
For
professionals.
anything Andrew
so
says, we're not responsible for.
we're not responsible.
But it will be fun if you can actually sip along with and knows the perceptions and stuff
Yep.
if you've got it.
Well,
That's
look
kinda
who
what we're looking
decided
for.
to show up, gentlemen.
Well, look,
Oh,
Tom.
Look at
right.
this guy.
What?
Where's he been?
He must have been on a raiding party with his World
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
Warcraft.
thinking.
Good to see him.
He
He was at his car
He was
driving
finding
down
his
here.
own king.
See, Gregor's driving, so there you go.
Time for
Yeah.
a drink.
Gregor,
So are we getting into this, or what's the deal, man?
All right.
what's
Who's-
the rule?
Who's
So
supervising this thing?
we did. This is our third one now.
Oh,
we
I
did
didn't.
repeat one.
We didn't do the tale of the tape and whatever. Oh, you did. Didn't you look them up?
Well, I have them.
All right. So King of the Hill. This is where we pair two bottles, and usually one of them is a winner, and the other one is a competitor that has been recommended either by patrons or by the comment stream. And then what we'll do is we'll go through these whiskeys. They are blind. I poured these earlier, and I did not tell these guys what they are.
No, I
And we weren't paying
this will-
attention at
this will
all.
be
Good to
blind.
guess here.
Now, admittedly, these whiskeys are not unknown to us, so we may figure out what it is.
That's not the point.
That's
But
not
the point of this event is to go through and dissect the whiskey, to really rip it apart on the nose and on the palate and the finish, and see what we get out of it. And then essentially at the end of the night, we pick a winner. We pick which we prefer tonight. 2 weeks ago, we did Glendronach versus Macallan 12.
Which was very interesting.
And tough.
It was
Watch
a
the
good
video.
battle. It was a good fight.
And it was the Macallan 12 sherry cask. And then, so the Glendronach 12 won.
It's the current
barely.
king of the
It's
hill.
the current king of the hill in
And
the
the
sherry
sherry.
category.
Yeah.
So this week we bring in the Tamdhu 10,
12.
12, 12 to see which ones we're gonna.
Tamdhu is basically contender number one, and Glendronach is defending its throne, its belt, if you will. The when it went against McKellen, it went the distance. There was no TKO there, baby. It was a
tight fight.
No, I
It was a
I
good
actually
fight.
picked the other one. I picked the McAllen Sherry Cat because it just had all this Oloroso leathery sherryness. It would just
It was a
was
tough
really
call.
was
It
it was really hit me that night. Now I love this. I will recommend this to any whiskey person that's trying Scotch for the first
Absolutely.
time
Oh, yeah.
because this has that niche of sweetness and like just flavors that really are perfect for somebody that's getting into Scotch.
Fair.
Yeah.
Now, if you've not watched one of these battles before, this category is obviously the sherry category. We've got another category running too at the same time, the peated one, which last week we did Lefroy 10 against
Ardbeg 10.
Ardbeg 10.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
So that's a completely different. I don't know.
It's a wing.
We're not going to tell you
Yeah.
who won. You have to watch the video.
Eventually,
Right.
they may
right.
get
Once
there,
we get towards the end of the year, we'll take all the separate categories that we have. We may have some on region, whatever age, whatever. We're going to put them all in a bracket, and then the winner of that one will be our Scotch for Dummies Whiskey of the Year. But right now,
Whoa,
we're staying
man.
within our own weight classes, if you will. This weight class is the sherry weight class, right? And
Yep.
you'll notice that these are extremely similar on the tail of the tape.
Yeah. So if you're watching this in the replay, make sure you smash a like. If you're watching it live, smash a like, and then leave a comment too. You know what you think about this or suggested bottles because we are taking those into consideration as well. So guys, let's get on with this.
And
Right.
does it say we have 53 people watching and only one like?
Nah, it's Facebook like, but yeah, hit the like button.
Everybody
Actually,
like.
the like button
Go to
is
Facebook
like
and
a
like us
very
too.
big thing for us for our algorithm. So, all right, let's
I
pull
want
up
chokes.
the tail and take here, if you will. Mark, what do we have? We got, or Sean, what do you talk about? This
Yeah,
time?
man. So we'll start with the reigning champ. Right?
Yep.
So we got Glendronach 12. It is a Highland, 43% ABV. Obviously, these are both sherry because we're in the sherry category. Total wine price about $54. That's a really good price for that, honestly.
It really is.
Actually, it's gone. I mean, for right
It's-
now,
it's up.
currently, that's a pretty good price.
That is.
It's actually really good. It's it was like $75 here locally for us.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen that as high as 50 or 69 or something.
yeah.
So if we want to get into the nitty gritty details of this particular bottle, this Glendronach, it's actually XPX and Oloroso sherry cask. So since this is a sherry category, let's really try to make sure we're identifying it. Did you get the ABV and all that good
Yep.
stuff?
It's
So
on the
then
screen, too.
we're moving on to the Tamdhu. So again, a 12-year-old sherried whiskey. This one's a Speyside. So I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit on that.
A
But yeah.
little bit.
43% ABV, so they're both the same ABV, both sherry cask. $57 from Total Wine, so you're talking about $3 more for the Tamdhu. So essentially, same price, same age. Like these are very similar, at
Very
least on
comparable.
tape.
I
Yeah.
believe Tamdhu is just Oloroso casks, though.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Just all okay.
Yeah, what we can say about both distilleries are they are both very proud of their casks, of their sherry casks. That's what they specialize in doing. Honestly, I know Glendronach might put one or two different bottlings that are like not the heavy sherry, if you will, but this is their bread and butter.
They had a peated too.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
they
do.
do.
They
They
do
do
a
have a
batch.
peanut
You're
version.
right. And Tamdhu actually
Didn't like
does
that
have a
one.
younger
blue bottle.
than 12.
Yeah.
They do have a 10.
That's what I thought they did.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, technically their entry because 12 is the Glendronach entry. But as far as just matching up the stats, like Sean just said out, they're
They're pretty similar.
yeah, it's not going to get
Um,
closer than that.
Price wise, sherry cask, ABV, all that stuff. So I mean, it's really going to come down to the kind of casks that they're using, and then the new make, right? I mean, that's really what we're talking about. There's no difference in ABV. There's essentially no difference in price. It's all about the sherry that they're using and their new make.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. As you can see on the screen, there's a banner at the very bottom. If you go to www.menti.com and you type in the code on your phone, 8531122, that was a funny way of saying it. You'll see a question up here. We'll say, what do you get from the nosing? This is a live word cloud that we'll see. So we're going to start nosing it. Love for you guys. If you got comments from history or if you're doing it live with us, We'd love to see what you guys are getting.
Look at everyone's comment. Bring that up.
Which one right here?
So everyone's telling us that the Tamdhu 10 was discontinued.
Thank you.
That makes sense.
Very cool.
All right. So
Soon, Gregor.
So we have two different colored glasses here. One is gold, one is black. And these guys don't know which is which. I do.
Well, I mean, I know this is black.
This is the gold one.
Yeah.
That's
I
you
don't
and I
know
are
what
the same
liquid is
thing.
in each glass. Man, that's crew. So we're going to start with the gold and see what we're getting on this. So what do you get from the nosing? That's going to be tough because they don't know what we're nosing yet. But
I do.
That
was yeah.
all right. So, but this is open your mind, extract the flavors.
Oh, I'm not
Well,
saying that.
The patrons that watched you pour these on the pre-show know, and if they want, they can comment.
Don't comment.
I'm why
Oh,
not? We're not
you guys
looking-
are watching?
Yeah, I
So-
know. I mean,
Okay.
So this one has that musty, like old library smell,
Oh,
old
gold does?
leather.
Okay.
Well, obviously it's not working. Let me refresh this thing.
But then
Go
it's
back
got
to it.
some it's got some dried fruit notes in there, like dried apricot, things like that. Not necessarily like ruby red fruits.
Okay.
Little lighter than that.
All right.
But definitely deep, rich
so
aromas
getting a
on the
little
nose.
getting a
And
little sherry in there.
yeah. Well, and I mean it's very it's not something to like waft it off after I took the lid off and like everything went away. Like
Oh,
it's
deeper.
extremely
Okay.
pungent
Oh, here
and
we go.
aromatic.
Yeah.
Now it's working.
Yep.
I will say, okay, so there's, I'm seeing some notes. I definitely agree with what I see on the screen, what you said, but there's also something else in there that I haven't put my finger on yet that I'm not sure I quite agree with.
You don't like it? I mean, it's like it's an off note.
Well, it's just something that's I don't. It's catching me off that not in a great way.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let me rest on it for a hot
gold,
second.
gold may have
Drew?
Gold may have an off note.
So we're starting to get some word clouds, I think, come in.
So the musty
Ooh.
Dunwich. Man, those are some great words. Musty Dunwich.
What do you got, Drew?
So speaking of, yeah, talk to me, Drew.
It is musty, actually. Kind of leather, musty, cherry.
So
No bright fruits.
so
no,
what I hear in all of
No,
these
there's
words.
like strawberry in there too.
Oh, now you're throwing me off because what
okay.
I was going to say, what I see in here and all what I'm reading, what I've heard, tells me that there's no PX in there. That's
No.
what I'm hearing.
No.
Right? And my nose says the same, right? So right there's a kind of all right, let me, and that's kind of what this probably comes down to, you guys, is the difference between those two kinds of sherries and
Yep.
what is really hitting you right now in this moment. And that could have something
Well-
to do with what you had for dinner, you know.
Yeah,
And
you know.
I think how the new make interacts with the sherry that they chose.
All right, so
right?
start
So-
nosing the black one.
I didn't want to,
Rush
I
it.
know.
rush
So,
Drew.
Drew
cut
was being
him off.
quiet.
so do you have additional comments while he's working that?
Yeah, I'm interested in what they're saying as well. Leather is a predominant flavor for me on the nose in that. I mean, very leather, raisin.
But they don't
fruit.
know which one you're drinking.
Well, I'm getting leather. No,
So we're switching glasses now, though.
Yeah,
So
so we
we
are.
need to
So,
reset.
so what we're gonna have is these are so the beauty of nosing a whiskey and tasting a whiskey with the people around is they bring up words that prompt your thinking during the process.
Sure.
So these words that are coming up on the screen, the cherry, the
it's
fruits,
good.
the
It's helpful.
strawberry,
It's helpful.
it helps kind of prompt your mind to think about those flavors and those smells as you're going through the whiskey. And it's like, no, I don't smell
But
Dunwich,
those
but I
were
smell
all associated with that.
books or something.
Well, actually, it's a good point. We don't know what we're smelling. So
I do.
Right.
what
So-
are you nosing?
so
I mean, I pretty much know what that is already. But
All right, so let's talk to the black
So
ones.
this one is not as predominant on the nose. It's got a softer nose about it. There's sweeter notes to it. It's got more of a sugary candy quality going on than the other one.
Absolutely.
There's still some musty
yes,
notes
there
to
is.
it, but not
Okay.
nearly as predominant as the gold glass.
Okay.
So
No, yeah, this one's
it's-
got more of a sugar note, maybe cotton candy. Still a little bit of musty, but not like that's. I mean, if that's the freaking leather book in the library, that's 250 years old. This one was just poured over it.
Yeah.
Over it.
well, it's interesting because it's got a balance between the sweet and the musty notes, and so I get a little bit of both, but neither one is like kind of riding
So-
out the other.
Right now, I'm enjoying that nose better than that nose. So currently, just on first pass noses, if I had to say
Darker.
which one really hits me,
Yeah.
I'm saying the black right now.
Yeah, so look at the color of these. So that's why we put these in opaque glasses, so you can't really pull the color from it.
I don't
there
know
is
if I
a
could
color.
pull the color from it anyway.
Yeah, the
there is-
Glendronach looks a
It's
little darker.
close.
Glendronach is way darker.
Well, and I don't know. These at being 43%, they've got to be chill filtered, but I don't know. I don't think they put coloring in. They might. I don't remember.
I think
Doggone,
Glendronach does.
you would think I would have that down.
I'll show the word cloud again. So the word cloud basically is just from either one of these bottles. Just put nosings that you may get from either one of these bottles. It's fine.
See, all right. Sean's
'cause-
already got dirty.
he went in on the gold.
He
So what do you
dove
get
in.
on the nose on the black glass?
Oh, it's so good.
I'm getting leather there too, actually.
Okay, same kind of leather, same kind of mustiness.
I think the first one is mustier than this one is, but definitely has some mustiness to it. I
Okay.
think kind of more sourness too, maybe a little bit
Sour.
Yeah.
Okay.
but definitely
Maybe
cherry, and
Oh, I think a grapefruit or
This
something.
one's got a little bit of a tobacco note in it.
Yes,
there's some
but you should taste it.
black tea in this too.
All right.
Black tea in the black glass. Okay.
There's your taste.
All right. So he's tasting. They're tasting the gold. All right, Sean. What did you taste in the gold?
I'm gonna let Mark go first.
Well, this one's
Well, because
really
he just
musty
sipped
compared to
it.
the black.
I'm gonna have to have another sip. But it, to me, it was much sweeter than the nose let on. Right?
Good God, it really is. To be honest with you,
Oh,
I don't-
interesting. Okay.
I don't think the
Whiskers.
palate matched the nose. The nose had that leathery, musty, dungy, slight tobacco. The palate was just all sweetness down the middle. Now on
Interesting.
the finish, I'm getting some of that tobacco notes on the edge of my tongue.
Yep.
But it didn't hit my palate the way I
You
anticipated.
thought it would be deeper.
I really did. From just the
Darker.
nose, you close your eyes. I mean, you can't see it, so you've got this perception. You're building an image in your mind of what you think is gonna, and it didn't taste that way.
No, 100%. The nosing was completely different from the palate.
Right.
The nosing, I got more sourness and some leather up front and some other things fruit wise. But I think you nailed it in the palate. It was like the first half was just sweet stuff. I don't know what that is yet. Some sweetness. Then it mixed right into the second half, which was like leather and tea. And then the finish is just a little bit of bitterness almost. It's really almost kind of like deliberate boom, boom, boom on the palate.
So
Front, middle, back.
So I get that like
Here's
sweet candy,
a word for you.
orange peel, like citrusy
Scrumptious.
quality up front.
That's a good one.
It's a good word.
And then as you go through it, yeah, you start to get some of the musty, and then it's got like some black tea and dark chocolate on the
Dark
finish.
chocolate. Yeah.
So a lot of
So
those
it's
sugars
interesting.
and the sugar alcohols tend to be less volatile. So it makes sense that you get it on your palate and not necessarily on the nose. Yeah.
So, but it's quite delicious.
Mhm.
All right.
Damn, man, you should talk to Dr. Scott.
All right. So you're talking. We're not going to taste the black. So that was the gold.
that was just a gold
gold
palate.
palate. Yep.
All right. So the black,
So I would anticipate this to be even sweeter because the nose is sweeter on this one.
There's almost a little sulfur in the nose down the gold.
Yeah, Bob H is cheating. He's drinking Tamdhu 15 against Glendronach 12. You know,
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
you got to do what you got to do, Bobby.
Yep.
so to me, the black one
Oh, God, that smells so good.
is it's so much softer on the
It's getting
nose.
The palate. More rounded.
The black one is just so much softer on the nose
I-
and on the palate. It is
All right.
not as bold.
So
It is
delicate.
not as so the gold has a little bit more spice on the finish that kind of hits the tongue up front, like some cinnamon and and
So-
it's really nice. Whereas this one is a lot more. There's not as much spice. It's got a much sweeter palate, but it's not delivering quite as much complexity either.
Fair.
It's sweet for sweet's sake, I guess. Is,
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And the musty notes that I get on the nose aren't as pronounced on the palate.
So I'd agree with you until I went
Okay.
I went down on the nose. I mean, I
Yeah,
put the
dog.
nose, I was like, I really
You
went
got
down.
dropping boogers in there. and
Yeah, I
everything.
wanted to really get a really hard. And
I'd
once
like a
you
new
get
glass.
underneath that you get underneath that sweetness that you're talking about, I actually get a grassy note, and I'm like, well, what's that? Where'd that come from? I didn't
Yeah.
expect that on a sherry, matured
Yeah.
whiskey. But
Did you try
There
it?
is something. No, I haven't. I
He's
was
talking
waiting.
a lot.
Drink
Drink,
it, man.
drink the damn thing.
We're on the drinking part.
I would say I had another sip of the gold. It was already better, like more rounded than it was the first time.
Yeah.
So water is going to help, I think.
Did we put water on it?
Not yet.
Nope. You guys can put water and I can re-pour if you need to.
This is definitely lighter in the nose than the
Yes.
gold.
I actually got a real light like graham cracker note on the back end
Of the
of the
black glass, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've had a round of nosing, we've had a round of palate, we haven't added water. Give me 3 words to describe the gold glass. Sean,
The gold glass?
gold glass. 3 words. In palate and nose.
Bold, surprising,
Mm.
and I would say complex.
Okay.
It, it's got a lot going on.
What are your 3 words for the gold glass?
He's got to put something on.
I'm
that
not
thing.
ready yet.
Oh,
Skip me. I just
No,
noticed
okay.
that Mark JG was in the house, and I wanted to make sure I saw that right. Hi, Mark. Good to see you.
so Drew, do you have three words for the gold glass?
I think bold is a good one.
Oh, before you do that, hold on.
You got to have 3 unique words.
Leather, sour, and I don't know. I need to go back to it. Probably, actually, rounded. It was very rounded. Yeah.
All right. So Mark, 3 new words for the gold glass.
3 new words for the gold glass all around.
Yeah, just in general, nose and palate.
Nose and palate. Unmatched.
Unmatched? Okay.
In other words, I still don't think that the palate and the nose really are in sync.
Oh, disconnected.
Yeah,
Okay.
the disconnect's a great word.
Okay. Yeah.
I do rather appreciate the nose better than the
Okay.
black. I think it does have more to it, but
That was an Andrew move.
But I'm not-
I put water in.
All right.
but I'm
it's
not
going.
sure how I feel about it on the
Double fizzy?
tram. Oh man, we're spilling over here, guys.
Well, that's fine. If
I got this.
you have nothing additional,
It's hard to do it until after you taste the other one. You got
You're right. So let's do black. So 3 words on the black.
the nose is so much
Because you
different.
guys have no water. What's the black glass? And I'm gonna start Drew this time.
The black. Oh, okay. Fruitier, milder, and tame.
Tame. All right.
Tame.
Mark,
Tame.
Three-
Give me the
three-
black.
three words on the black.
I haven't tasted it with water yet.
Well,
No, you're not.
Oh,
no, this is
shoot.
before you had the water.
You probably don't remember it.
No, I
If you
will
don't,
say
that's fine.
I will agree with your note on fruity. It's not as musty. There's more of a red fruit note. It's definitely sweeter, and I'll say soft.
Okay.
I'll say tame, but it's definitely.
No, Sean.
You stole my soft.
How about smooth? Is it smooth?
No,
I didn't want to say smooth because you get shot for that around here.
I mean, it's so to me, it is softer, right? It's a more delicate whiskey. So I guess delicate would be a word.
Okay.
It's sweet,
Mhm.
candy like,
Yeah.
well rounded.
Okay.
Well rounded.
Very good. All right. So let's move on to the watered down versions.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the watered down in this black.
Okay.
You already started.
I haven't done anything. I just put water and smelt it. That's all I've done. So I've got the. Are you a sherry lover on the page here for the questions? If you're still logged in, we've got some likes coming in. I see coming in. We've got 4 people.
Yeah,
that have liked
77
it.
online. Hit some likes and so yes,
Here's all the sherry lovers.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one's gonna. I mean, who's gonna say no? Only
no,
like
I
a-
don't like sherry.
I don't like a sherry
I
one.
can see more down thumbs than a Pete, but
Yeah.
all right. So what are we going to talk about first? The black or the gold?
Oh, we got a little super
Can I
chat.
talk about-
Fight,
can I
fight
talk
for
about black?
sound. Hey,
Yeah,
thank
go
you for
ahead,
that.
man.
Appreciate that. Cheers.
Virtual
cheers.
dram, fight for
Yeah,
sound.
man,
Thank you very
I'll
much.
take another drink of this one. I gotta be honest. How much water did you put on this?
Just a few little drops.
Man, money.
Really?
I wouldn't have put drops on either one of these at 43%.
And never.
But I'm telling you, this
The-
thing
the
opened up
black
on
one?
the nose. I got nothing but strawberry.
On the black.
I was
Really?
like, holy, this thing just smells like a strawberry patch, and it's so much richer on the palate.
Really?
It's amazing what water does. It never ceases to amaze me about Now,
It's
which
either
one-
going to make it awesome or
I'll do
kill
this
it.
one first.
Well, at 43%, hell yeah, you're right. I mean, anything under 46%, and I usually
so this still has a little funky sour.
Yeah, it's got a musty nose to it. The gold,
We're talking about the gold. Yeah.
and it's, believe it or not, I think it's a little bit spicier than it was before.
Okay.
so water brought out a spice note.
Because I had it before, like it was spicy to me before. I think it's a little bit more pronounced now, but as it fades, it gets into some nice, really sweet notes
Mhm.
that are really good, and the finish is long.
Shit.
Now, I will say, though,
Okay.
I agree with you. The water did bring it down, so you can tell it's watered down now.
Yep.
But the second half is a bolder fruit than I had before, like almost
Well,
an assortment of fruits.
And I'm not really getting as much of that chocolate and black tea as I was neat, and which is kind of nice actually, because it lets me get into the sweet notes a little bit more and
It's
kind of
still
appreciate
there.
them a little bit
Yeah.
more. It's there, but it's not nearly as
Mhm.
pronounced.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's
But
nice.
the
with
nose,
water.
the nose and palate are they're completely different.
It's not as musty with the water on it.
So the
on
gold.
nose.
You're talking about the gold glass.
Yeah,
So
and the
you're all-
gold, I don't
okay.
think so. It doesn't smell like old dingy or dunningy as
What's
it
up,
used to.
Okay.
It smells more sweet. I
Yeah.
think water brought a little bit more sweetness out of the nose.
Okay. So did it align the nose and the?
I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about the
You weren't kidding.
So your first words were disconnected on the gold glass. So the nose and the palate were.
Mhm.
I agree with that statement. I think it is still disconnected. They're
It's
both
still disconnected.
I think it's still
with water?
disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Here's
still
the
good,
problem.
but just different.
Right. I'm disconnected. I don't want you to think disconnected is bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
It's-
ask.
it's
It
not.
can be, but when both are good and just aren't connected,
100%. I love the nose and I like the palate. They're both
Right.
good. They're just not. You just not like. They're almost like
Right.
two separate glasses.
so do I ding them from that? I don't know.
Right.
No, I don't know if there's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's
No.
nothing wrong, but I think people there's an expectation that you smell something, you expect it to taste that. And that's not the case in this. And now both are good in their own right. Do I ding this one because the expectations not matched? I don't know.
I got lemon in this too. This is weird.
All right, so Sean tasted the
Tarts.
Well, I
You
guess you
smell-
two have both tasted
Yeah,
it.
Sean, he hasn't given his perceptions on the black with the water.
So it's nice. I don't know. I like the nose better with the water. I don't know if I like the palate better with the water.
Mm.
To me, it started to take some of the things that I liked that I thought flowed very nicely.
Oh, this is
And
hard.
I think that it might just need to sit for a little bit longer and kind of absorb that water and chill out a little bit. But to me, it's kind of bouncing around a little bit more than it was before. And I'm not able to quite find that harmonious flow from like one thing to the next,
So-
if that makes sense.
So I'm hearing disconnected bad.
On this one, I think it's like all the flavors are there. They're just kind of in a jumble. And I feel like it just needs to like relax a little bit and chill out. And I wonder if it just sits for a little bit and the water has time to kind of open it up, if it won't just kind of calm down and then I can get it to flow. Right.
But the gold doesn't need that. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so. Like to me, the palate on that one it's very similar to what it was before.
Yeah, 100.
Thank you.
It's riding through
Cheers.
the same way. It's just not quite as it's stronger in some areas and weaker in others than it was neat, if that makes sense.
So Alejandro says, we have my friend Richard Santos joining the live for the first time. Cheers and welcome. Alejandro, thank you for the super chat, but cheers and good to see you, Richard. Thanks for joining. I hope you're having fun. And I hope you're actually able to pour one of these and kind of participate because it's a pretty good battle.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a good fight.
We've got a live vote on the screen right now. Who do you think is going to win? Right now, Tamdhu is edging out Glendronach. I will say,
This is surprisingly fruity.
I was gonna say if the one thing I got on that now is a English fruit tart, and it's actually really cool. A little bit of pastry on the back end.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm getting that, and I will say it's not disconnected. I think the nose is very married to the palate right now.
Oh, okay.
I think it did.
On the black.
I think the water did hurt a little bit. It did kind of soften it too much for me because I feel like it could be more robust without the water. But I will say it's very well balanced
Yeah.
with the
You know
nose
what I
and the palate, and it's fruitier than what this is.
Yes.
So last time I touched the black, I was that way all the way up until I got on the palate, and something kind of stopped me in my tracks that I was like, I need to put it down, let that water work for a minute. Because I was listening to you saying, I think maybe it needs to, and I'm like, I hope that's the case. Because if I was told right now, I think
Pick one.
I got to put a cross on it,
Glendronach just took the lead.
I
Oh,
don't know, man. This has got a wonderful nose.
So this is great. So I love the fact that people can join in here and pick your favorite between Tamdhu 12 and Glendronach 12. And we're talking through these, and I know what these are, but I've not put my comments in.
God, this is incredibly hard. I like them both equally well. I really do. I think there's some minor differences between them that are standing out. I got to pick one up because
Yeah. So we're at the point now where you guys have tasted these and knows these.
To me, it's a-
in with water.
it's a style difference,
It
right?
is a style,
Like-
absolutely, but that's not.
Just like the
Pick.
last sherry battle we had, it is like they're both very good whiskeys, and they are good all by themselves. If you poured me one of these,
Yep.
I'm never going to turn it down. But we got to pick one,
Mhm.
I know.
and then we're going to put it up against like something that either one of these would kick the crap out of, right?
So
I'm gonna leave this going on for a few more minutes while we're deciding and here and talking through some stuff. Then we'll come back to this and see what the
so who wants to go first in picking a glass color? Black or gold?
I mean, I can talk my way through it.
Go for it.
Go.
Let me. Can I?
Yeah, you can take both glasses.
They're empty.
If you do
they
I need to refill them?
If you're willing to do that, I'm
No,
willing
just
to
wait.
I mean,
All right. They're both dead. That's too bad. You can still
I'm
know.
just
So-
gonna throw this glass out here.
I talked about the mismatch, if you will, of the gold glass between the nose and the palate. I liked both the nose and the palate. It just didn't seem to be the expectation, didn't align, and I'm okay with that because I liked it. Right, it was still good. It worked. I loved the black neat. I loved the black nose with a few drops of water. I think where it let me down is a few drops of water on the palate. And I'm splitting hairs here. I honestly love both of these glasses. Happy all night long. I'm sorry I got to send one home.
Yeah.
Sorry you're a loser tonight.
Pick one.
But if I'm just literally trying to split the hairs and in my mind do the math on trying to give points on what I give, I really got to say I'm leaning. My scorecard is 10-9, 10-9, 10-9 to the gold glass. I mean, this
Gold
is
glass.
it's a 1 point per round that it was
Yep.
close. I mean, honestly,
To Mark's gold. All
I'm
right.
gonna say gold.
Drew,
I'll go.
All right. Drew's
So
still thinking.
I found this one very interesting. My thoughts are the black glass had that fruity, character, and it just to me kind of missed a step against the gold. Like it wasn't a ton, but if you're talking about a game of inches, like it was just barely enough. It
Okay.
wasn't quite as heavy and full bodied on the nose. The palate, I'm with you. Actually, I really loved, probably my favorite nosing of all of them was the black glass with water. I loved the nose.
Strawberry
It was
came out like
delicious,
beautifully.
right? It was
Glass with
wonderful.
water. Okay.
But the palate didn't quite have it for me with the water. It wasn't quite, and I was hoping that it would kind of calm down and mellow out and settle into something, and it just didn't quite get there.
Travis.
Whereas the Tamdhu gold glass, it to me it was a much more like surprisingly full-bodied nose, right? Like on neat and with water, it just really brought the thunder. And I liked it better a little bit with the water added to it. Surprisingly, I thought that it tamed down a few of the things that I didn't care for quite as much and let me access a few things that I couldn't get to before, which is what I kind of like with water. So I'm going to go with the gold glass.
Gold glass.
So
two
I
gold.
wanted to point out Travis Fairclough's comment. First of all, for the other 90 people in the chat that don't know Travis, Travis is a sherry knowledge freak. The guy
He
sniffs
knows
out
his
sherry
stuff.
bombs
Yep.
like you wouldn't believe. He's definitely. I really respect what he has to say about it, but he's really getting down into details with his comment here about not only is it just Oloroso, but he's breaking down the type of oak that
Wood,
goes
yeah.
the type.
So
of
you're
wood.
getting the spicy notes out of the Spanish oak, and then you're getting vanilla notes out of the American.
right. So he's taking it even a step further than just what kind of sherry
Amazing.
was in it. And great comment. I appreciate you sharing, that insight, Travis.
Gold glass.
Well, I mean, we already technically declared a winner because my vote doesn't matter
It
But I
anymore.
does
want to hear
count.
what
No,
you
it does.
say.
So if you haven't voted, so look on your screen now, go to menti.com, use that code word and vote for your preferred. If you've had these, pick Tamdhu 12 or Glendronach 12 and tell us what you like.
I guess I'll walk through mine. I think both you guys made some valid points, and it's hard. It's really they're both very good glasses. They really are. And I'm looking at this thinking to myself, I mean, honestly, what I love about this challenge is, I mean, to your point, we both
What
pretty
you pour
much
that for?
know what they are. It's
Yeah.
obvious, but I'm really trying to forget about that. I'm trying to go into my mindset of mood. What am I going to go grab and why if I knew the taste between the both of them? And I think I really, really wanted to go for the black because I love the fact that it's fruity. It's my normal palate profile. And I was fighting when you guys were talking. I'm like, I'm gonna go black. I'm gonna go black. I'm gonna go black.
And then he went back.
But I tell you, the Tamdhu, gold. I mean,
I'm not necessarily.
it's
The
gotta be
Tamdhu.
Tamdhu. I will say that it's got more characteristics that I kind of almost appreciate the disconnect in that way because I kind of feel like it didn't have burnt toast, but it had some funk going on that I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. So it's a little different from a mood perspective, but in tonight's battle,
Right now,
I'm gonna go gold too.
Well, that's unanimous. Can we go to the
instant
Dram
replay?
Cam? So,
We actually have
Take a
a
drink of
tie.
the-
right
oh my
now.
gosh, it's a tie. That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna go with
Dram Cam.
So the Dram Cam would be here if there was a bottle here, but Mark's using one of them, and I'm not sure which one it's going to be. So the way it works out is, the gold is the Tamdhu.
Yeah, well, pretty obvious.
And so, the reason how I connected those is if you look at the lid of the Tamdhu box, it's actually gold. So that's how I picked them. And that was my
Interesting. So you couldn't screw that up.
couldn't screw it up.
Forget that one.
I wanted to have an extra reason for that to be there. So Tamdhu is a gold. Tamdhu is unanimous winner tonight.
So we have a new king, and honestly, it's the voting kind of dictates our voting as well. It's
I'm
kind of a tie.
amazed, and I did taste these as you guys were going a little bit. I agree. I think Tamdhu has more of the Macallan character that I liked last week, 2 weeks ago, because I like that deeper, richer, leathery kind of part of it. Now, I would love to see the Tamdhu against the Macallan to see if like Macallan maybe too acrid and it loses some of that sweetness, whereas Tamdhu does a better job with those American bourbon casks and it's a little sweeter. So it'd be great to see, but that Tamdhu won tonight, unanimous.
Thank you, D. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you
It's
very
good to
much,
see you as
D.
well.
That's a good picture of her. I gotta be honest, it's hard because I'm a Glendronach fanboy.
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
Glendronach, man. I mean, I've bought several of their single casks. I've got you've got the whole core, multiples of the core.
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, I've got probably a heel left of this Tamdhu 12 on my my desk up in my office. I absolutely love it too. So I mean,
You forget. I forgot how good it is.
It's amazing.
And
you
for the
don't
price
appreciate
you're
it
getting-
until you really put it up against another.
That's what I
banger.
love about this series is
Yep.
that it really gives you an open book, a wiki, if you will, of kind of what's current between the two bottles and why you
That's
pick them.
crazy good. Yeah, that's the beauty. So all of these bottles are new too. We bought them for this review. They're not like the
One hasn't been
5-year-old
open
versions.
longer.
They're brand new bottles, so you get
Right.
the fresh current liquid in 2022 or late 2021. So it's good.
And everything that we want in this series is readily available. It's what you're going to see on shelves. I mean, it's not. We're not.
That's the
trying
whole goal.
We're very well aware that we can go out there and find a bottle to dethrone this. That's not the point. It's about what can you buy at the liquor store. So
You are correct. We can do that one right now.
That's a good one.
Do we have them?
No, I think.
I brought it back over.
I will say I love this series because it really just
It informs
takes a
us.
lot of stuff out of the equation and you just go right to what you're tasting right then and there.
So according to Brianne Porter's comment, that's actually a geometry theorem, right? A property, because so Glendronach
Transitive
beats
property.
transitive property, right? Glendronach beats McKellen. Tamdhu beats Glendronach. Therefore, right now.
Here's a good
Seems
one.
right.
What's up?
You want to read this one?
Anybody that starts out with felicitations is awesome.
Oh yeah, I would say Edredor is a serious
Yeah,
contender.
that's a whole nother ball game.
And you know what?
Philip.
That one, Edredor's working its way up.
It is.
It will be.
Ah,
It'll come.
thanks,
here.
Rich. Appreciate it, buddy.
Cheers,
Ah,
man.
man,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
So I'm going to pour a little sample of this McKellen just for reference. It's not an official head-to-head. just wanna
I
know.
have to say, after the last review we did, I was like, Glendronach's, it's going to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
me too.
compared to the McKellen, I remember it having a much bigger, bolder nose, and it was just very forward. And then you put it against the Tamdhu, and I really like the ABVs are the same. So it really shouldn't, but it is.
There's a difference. There is a difference. Now, so when I think about what else is, what are the contender lists? What's the short list of contenders? Obviously, someone just said Edredor belongs in there. We got to find the right Edredor. Edredor's got a lot of different bottles out there, so I'm going to spend some time and find one that's comparable to this ABV, this age, this price point, if you will. There's
It's not
Glenallachie.
even fair.
Glenallachie's out there. I'm sure that one's going to bring a pretty heavy right hand.
Yeah.
I'm looking for other suggestions. Glenfarclas 12. Absolutely. There you go, Everwin. A lot of people have been wanting to say, the Boonas.
Glenfarclas.
I don't know. And-
I love the Boona 12. That's that would be interesting to compare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not apples to apples there.
I don't know, man.
No.
Boona 12 is pretty damn good, though, but that's such a chocolate note.
All right, so
I can pull that one out pretty quick.
I know.
So the clear Scotch redemption glass, I did pour a little McKellen 12.
All right.
Sherry,
So,
the Sherry
let's see.
oak cask.
is it sulfur?
It's unfair.
It is unfair.
It is.
I mean,
is
it's such
a rubber tire.
It's a major,
It is.
major.
So
smell
that
difference.
is amazing to me. The Tamdhu, just on initial nose, blows away the McKellen 12.
It does.
It's just so
It's not
much
even
better
close.
The
put together.
Macallan's almost fake.
And
have you?
you're gonna have to spend $20 more to get that.
It's almost. I feel it's like a Diet Coke versus a real Coke.
Have
I
you
mean,
ever
it's like
replaced an inner tube on a bike
Mhm.
tire?
yeah,
Yes.
You pull it out of the box.
No, it's not
uninflated.
that bad.
I swear to
it's
God,
not that.
It's
bad.
not that bad.
that's what I
It's
smell.
pretty close.
It's not that. It's,
Well,
it's
you've been
not a
drinking sweet sherry
bad
whiskeys
thing.
all
It's
night.
just. I don't know, but I am shocked that the Glendronach went down because I thought that guy was going to hold the hill for a while.
It was tough, but
Tamdhu wins.
Tamdhu wins.
And-
Tamdhu wins,
and-
man.
Now, what's interesting is who's going to be the next contender against this one, right?
Well, that's what I was trying to get to. There's been
Look at
some
all the
suggestions.
Alejandro's got 4 right there.
So-
Glenfarclas, Glengoyne,
Glengoyne,
Buna,
12.
Abalur. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, somebody said, obviously, a couple people have said Boona 12. I would have to pose the question to Bob H. I know you're out there somewhere, Bob. Bob and I spent a little time doing a little research on Boonahavens, and we have 3 different versions of Boonahaven 12 over
got
the
2 here.
years. Yeah, you got 2 of them here and
Well,
right
so-
here. And you're
For this study, though, it's got to be the new one. you
Right.
get.
And available.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we if we do pull
Royal
if
Block.
Boonahaven works its way up to a battle here, it's got to be a Boona that's fresh off the shelf in today's
So,
Fair
market.
and so keep in mind, these are also in the $50 to $60 price range.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I
it's
need
got
a-
to
I need a-
stay there.
A 10 to 12-year-old sherried whiskey in the $50 to $65 range.
right.
That's comparable as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the key where we're
Like, stretch
yeah.
things a little bit, whether it's age, whether it's ABV, whether it's
I
price.
mean,
We can-
this was a different region,
but
technically.
this one,
Well-
I mean, let's be honest. Last week's Ardbeg
care
Lafroy
about
tail of the tape was immaculately.
I love that one.
Couldn't beat it. This one, just like this week. I mean, come on.
They're-
ABV, age, price, everything was
Yeah.
just.
I would not have
that's a true
guessed last
battle.
week's winner.
I
would
wouldn't
not
have
guessed that.
either. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have either. I was not anticipating
Delicious. If you've never tried one, you should go pick one up.
So Tamdhu, congratulations, Tamdhu.
that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you toasting it with McAllen?
no,
No,
this
I'm
is
toasting with
this is
Tamdhu.
my Tamdhu that I.
You guys all poured Tamdhu separately.
I said I was going to have a glass of the winter.
That's
I know.
hilarious.
I'm just double checking. You had,
No,
last time I saw you.
Here, not to really bring a tear to you guys' eye, but you realize that had COVID not gotten in our way, we would have
Oh my God! Don't remind me.
been to this private, not open to the public distillery.
Shut up.
Hey,
Shut up.
It's gonna happen again. We're gonna do that again.
2023?
Yes,
Jesus Christ. Oh,
it will happen because
So-
that's something we have to do.
yeah, we really do.
Tamdhu, Sun and
Glen
Chill.
Turret.
Sun and Chill's talking.
Glen
Oh,
Turret, yeah,
wow.
that'd be a good one.
So,
Quit being
yeah.
cheap, yeah, okay.
Well, I hear you.
That's me.
We're trying to find
That's me.
things, but on that note, we're also trying to find things that are available on the shelf locally, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go to our local Total Wine. It's got a decent selection, but I mean,
Ooh,
it's tough.
What do you got?
speaking of 12-year-olds, just picked up 2 decent 12s for 54. That's
Oh,
Right on.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Decent
What was
12 is
Deanston?
great.
We were drinking. What did we drink that Deanston? What was it? Virgin Oak? What was
Yeah.
that?
Virgin Oak, yeah.
We did
I'll tell
a
you what, man.
What was that? We did a blind on, and it actually won.
Last week we did it.
When we did the reviews,
We
were
did
up
a
at the
quick
chop
pour of
house.
that.
You-
We
you-
did, yeah.
yeah.
That's good.
Dude,
That's real good.
For that price point, I don't care if it's a non-age statement. I'll drink that crap every night. I mean, I'll pour some on the fire, man.
Right.
Put it on my steak. I don't care.
Speaking of that trip, did you guys empty out our locker?
We did
Almost.
too.
Almost.
We only
did
killed
2
2
of
of them, and they were almost dead anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, they
Whatever.
were heels.
You need me to get another bottle of
Do
something?
something. Put
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
in
Is
there.
that brewer?
can you get one of those bars?
So
we definitely
speaking
need a king up there. We killed the king, I think.
What?
We didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
killed the
Yeah,
king.
we killed the
Ah,
king. We killed the
sounds like a-
Brora, and we.
the royal.
Deanston's still there.
But what? There
Yeah,
was,
so-
there
so-
was 3 bottles. I thought that.
We did a review a couple weeks ago, and we were at Chop House, and we have a whiskey locker there. We happened to kill a Brora 34.
It did do it.
Now that was left
Could I go?
fairly. There was just a little bit left in it, and then a King Alexander III. Oh,
You know what else we did?
yes, that's true.
We
That
did-
was a good time.
We had a not a scotch. that reviewed.
We can't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
But we've got some
Non-Scotch.
But it was a
interesting-
non-scotch.
We have an
review.
interesting review coming out in a week or two for a special day. Speaking of special days, today,
Yes.
Wait.
Today.
Hold on, quick before we do that.
which one?
Yeah.
Got to get him out of
Take
the
the
Brora.
7 train.
That's for real.
That is no joke. All
What is
right,
it?
so go back.
What is it? Money? What is it?
Get him more of the first.
So I don't know the details of all this stuff, but today is both of these bottles, a bottle and bond 125 years ago. Is that correct? This is not a bottle and bond, but it's close as I have right now.
Correct. So today, March 3rd, is
Today is March 3rd.
there's three whiskey, International Whiskey Day,
Yep.
International Irish Whiskey Day,
Yep.
and
Bottle and
Bottle
bond.
in the
and bond.
U.S. Bottle and Bond Day, because it's like 125 years ago was the first official bottle and bond whiskey,
Right.
which was essentially the first time the government had ever started to regulate food and beverages.
Right. So
Before the
125
FDA,
years
before any of
ago,
that.
before any of that, the federal government, U.S. federal government came in and they said, this is an official standard, if you will,
Yes,
of bottling
of whiskey.
whiskey.
You can still put whatever you want in your hot dog, but your whiskey is going to have to be a little bit better kept.
Yeah, so
Damn right.
What we have here on the camera is
Lips
is,
and ass.
is an Irish. Old
Fingers.
Forester 1910, admittedly, is not a bottle and bond. It's 93% ABV,
Close.
but I think Sean and Mark may have a bottle and bond.
I've got
story.
bottle and bond stuff.
Bottle and
But-
Bond was
but-
my first introduction to Old Forester.
Well, you got a
and I
story about
fought
it.
with that son of a gun. I mean,
Delicious.
Sean wouldn't let me out of the ring. He's like, "Get back in there," and I'm
You're
like,
gonna
"No."
finish.
Get back in there.
Can't let it beat you. What kind
And I'm like, "I need another cigar."
of fighter are you?
That might have been a lake trip that you guys stayed up way too
Yeah.
late for.
It's all right.
Well, I
That was
got-
when we discovered Pete.
Yep. That's when we actually got into it. We had to freaking. It
You
was
guys
like
thought we were crazy.
WWE match with Ardbeg.
We were
I went to-
scientists.
He and I went to bed at like it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're like, we're done.
I'm out.
And then you guys were up until like 5 in the morning, killing
Yeah.
that bottle.
And we did.
But
It was awesome.
so that's cool. That I didn't know it was Bottled and Bond Day. I
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, I'd heard that it was International Whiskey Day, and it was
Irish whiskey.
Irish Whiskey.
Does
Day.
anybody know what the significance is, like, of this particular date for like the Irish whiskey or
It
like is there
happened-
something
It happened
where they
to
just
the
like
calendar.
March 3rd looks good, or was there like something that happened that
I don't.
made them put it on?
I don't know
that
the
date?
story. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell us.
Because the bottled and bond date makes sense.
Yes.
The problem is if you're trying
I'm
to
gonna
find
go-
a date for Irish whiskey, it probably goes back
Try it.
500, maybe
You try it.
600 years
Right.
ago. It's not 200.
Somebody
here's
got
why.
burned at the stake for this, and March 3rd's their day.
He was probably a monk, and sorry about your luck.
Oh my gosh.
No,
all good.
I'm seriously.
So I am moving. So my second love right now in whiskeys is Irish whiskey. I really enjoy it, but I can't go from Scotch to Irish. I need to start with Irish, and then I can't go from really good Scotch to Irish. I'm gonna go bourbon.
Are these your liquor rules? Like not
That's right.
beer before,
Beer before
liquor?
liquor. But I'm gonna go Old Forester, and you should too.
Really?
So Old
Oh.
Forester, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey,
Old
1910.
I don't know. That Redbreast pack's plenty.
Live wire whiskey.
Wow.
You're late, but that's all right. Well, good to see you.
There.
What you got there?
Redbreast.
I love red breast. This is
That's what I'm drinking.
Tell
I'm
me you
drinking-
can't go from
Actually,
Scotch
So
to
this
that.
is the Lestal.
Smell this though. This
Oh.
smells great.
Oh, I know
Sweet.
all about
Sweet.
Forester.
I mean, the Old
That's
Forester.
a good nose.
Good
too.
nose.
But that Redbreast brings the thunder.
So this is great. So there weren't many people that put comments
I
side
have
by
not,
side that
though.
I saw. There may be others, but
Irish whiskey.
I think this is a great
just-
a great
refined.
analysis that Royal MC had, that he preferred the GD12. The Tamdhu does have some bitterness. It is more it has more of the Oloroso oxidized
It's good.
fat flavors, the leather, the old book, the dunnage, those kind of things. Glendronach
So-
is richer. I would debate that. It's richer in a different way. It's sweeter. It's kind of more fruity and has more apples and things like that in it. So it's a different rich. So
I will
That's a
say,
fair
I
comment.
won't debate it. Royal MC, I really truly appreciate the comments. Thank you for taking the time to put yourself out there and throw them in the chat, because honestly, that's what this channel is really all about. I mean, I love the fact that you're sharing what you think about it. And even if it's different than what of course
Yeah.
it's going to be different. It should be different. That's
Yep.
great. I'm glad it doesn't agree with mine. That's fine. Tonight in this moment, I went with
I
what
mean-
I tasted and smelled and what
I mean,
hit me the best.
I have both of them on my bar, and I
Absolutely.
always do.
because people like
They're
it.
both
This much Tamdhu left, and I have 3 bottles of Glendronach 12. I'm
They're
a
both
huge fan.
extremely good bottles. You're not going to go disappointed with either one of them. I think it's just interesting. It's very mood driven. But tonight, in this moment, what us
Right.
four decided was Tamdhu. Do your own comparison at home. It'd
And
be
I
interesting.
applaud you for doing that, and thank you for sharing the comment in the chat, though,
Yep.
because honestly, that's really what brings
we're
out
here.
the conversation, man.
I got to
Although-
tell you, I bourbon lover.
bourbon?
I'm not so much, but this is damn good.
Is this yours?
I'm gonna
Is
say
that the bourbon?
I'm gonna say right now, $10 says you don't pick the Macallan over the Tamdhu. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, so I did pour a sample of this, and this is done. This is on the
It's-
bottom.
Pretty obvious.
It doesn't compete against either of the
It's
two
not bad. It's
that
just
went
a
through
whole
there.
different.
I'd like to bring the Glendronach back for like a runners-up bracket towards the end,
We'll see.
with like maybe
Maybe-
3 or 4 that were
Yeah.
like honorable mentions that can go head to head and see who. Maybe that's our speed round.
Maybe we'll do like a
'Cause we've already talked
special
about 'em.
king and
Yeah.
multiple fights or something.
So interesting.
No kung fu?
We're doing comparisons,
Hell yeah.
right? We had the King of the Hill. Compare these two. I
Oh
know
my
it's not even
gosh.
fair.
It's not fair.
It's night and day, but I've had a sip of Sean's Irish and a sip of Drew's Old Forester. I said to Sean when he handed over, I'm like, man,
The Irish.
Irish
Let me do
is
the can.
so clean.
can.
It's so refined. It's
Already
just,
did
I mean,
it
it's
earlier.
triple distilled. I get it. The Old Forester, even on the nose, I'm like, God, this just smells
good.
thick, man. This smells like something on my waffles.
You
For
weren't doing
God's
anything
sake.
tomorrow, were you?
I'm
Maple
like,
syrup?
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Well, then I take a drink of it and I'm like, man, that's heavy.
Mm.
It is the total opposite of this. This is like heavy.
It's like syrup.
This is if you guys know anything about like oil, if you go buy oil for your vehicle and then you get 10W40, this is like 5W, right? This is like
Yeah.
SAE
It's
30,
thick.
and this is 10W40, right? This is thin, this is thick.
It's definitely true.
It's crazy.
It's true. But I tell you what, the Irish is good.
Oh, it is.
That
It's
style
very
is no
good.
joke. A little
Yeah.
sherryness on
I
it.
do like this little style. It's
It's
sweet.
Hard to argue with any of it, really.
Well,
Right.
we have,
So-
gentlemen, we have done the full circle tonight. We've done the King of the Hill. a nice little sherry lovers fight, and Tamdhu ended up winning, which was honestly, I'm curious, real quickly, coming into this, did you guys have a winner kind of decided in your head?
No, because honestly, after the Glendronach McAllen head-to-head, I was kind of like, I mean, that came out much closer than I thought it was. And McAllen held its own, honestly, against the Glendronach. So, I mean, I'm a Tamdhu lover. Like, I love Tamdhu.
Really?
But
I never knew that.
I would say I really wasn't sure how this one was going to turn out because I think it could have gone either way. It just seemed like the Glendronach was a little bit lighter tonight, and it just wasn't coming in packing quite the punch. But I love both of these bottles. Like, I keep them on my bar for a reason. So
after the first round with McKellen, I honestly knew going into that round, I'm like, I'm trying to get rid of the bias in the back of my mind because I've got a distaste for sulfur. But and McKellen stood toe to toe. It really did come down to the last round for me, right?
Yep.
So tonight, I'm like, you know what? I'm throwing everything to win. Even if I identify which one it is off the first notes, I don't care. I'm going about what I really, and I'm going to focus on that. I'm not going to lie. It was hard to say gold because I'm such a freaking Glendronach fanboy. But I'm going to be honest to what I had. And I did. Gold showed up.
I'm 100% with you on this. I went into the same approach. And I know on our Patreon pre-show, a lot of people predicted Tamdhu to win.
They did.
They really did. And I'm calling out Zach Andrews specifically because he says,
I
know your palate. And damn it, he does. Because that's exactly why I think it won.
So we're going to have to listen to that in the post show?
Yeah, we are.
Here's a question.
Did
you pick them out like immediately?
Yeah.
Did you know which one was which?
Course, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the first smell. I knew exactly which one.
You know what? On that note, I will say, if anybody wants to know the difference between Oloroso and PX, this is not a bad little test to do.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, there's probably better ones, but there's definitely a difference between the Oloroso Tamdhu and the Glendronach that's got PX. And you can smell the PX in the Glendronach.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
That strawberry comes out like,
Well,
whoa, hello.
Yeah, and I think the Tamdhu also with the Spanish oak has a much spicier note.
Yes.
And I think
That spicy.
that
note.
spicy note is I think what brings it way above. Well, I mean, I think McAllen needs some.
I'll tell you what.
too, but
If McAllen would have won the first round, this wouldn't have even been a contest.
No,
It would have been ugly.
it would have been like no way.
I think it all worked out the way. I see how you're thinking about it, but
no,
so.
because up front you guys saying, "Oh, McAllen doesn't have a chance against Glendronach." Well, it did.
No, it
100% pure mustard
open
says
compare.
Glenallachie 12 crushes them all.
maybe
It
he's right.
might.
Hey, so coming up, we actually filmed 2 reviews last week or so at your new place. Actually.
Yep.
It's not
Chop
new
House.
anymore, really.
Yeah, it's a year old.
It's been open for a minute.
But
been
that was
open
a fun review. So look out for those coming out. We've got there was a question above. I started, and it's going to be right here. And it says, "When are you guys going to review other countries besides Scotch?" Yes, that's coming up. Actually, we have some Cavalons right there to review.
Yep.
We did an Amaranth not too long ago. We're actually going to get into something in the next couple of weeks coming out that's not Scotch. So it's coming soon. But stay tuned for those. Yeah, right. Good reviews.
Must be Japanese.
Both of them are really good. Actually,
Yeah.
we really enjoyed those. And then
We got a couple more to do up there, actually.
yeah, we do.
Oh.
Yeah. So fun times. Great show tonight. I wonder who's going to be the next King of the Hill.
Well,
We'll see.
we might introduce another category. We've got a PETA category going out there right now. And
Is it a funk category?
who's sitting on top of the hill on the PETA category?
Lafroig 10.
Lafroig
Yeah.
10.
That seems like a Street Fighter right there, man.
You
It
beat
does.
Ardbeg
It's
10.
scrapper. It does.
Can we do a fun?
Although
funk
Ardbeg
category?
10 seems like a
we
Street
got a
Fighter
funk
too.
category.
I would love to do a
We
funk
can-
category.
So it's all Campbelltown.
The problem is they're all owned by the same damn distillery.
Somebody's got to win that damn thing.
The same distillery.
That's right. Well, you're a winner. Burnt toast it is.
Oh, jeez.
So you're
All right.
saying I got a chance?
You got a chance, brother.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys as always. Hit the like button on your way out. Comment what you guys want to see on the next King of the Hill, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys
Cheers,
for watching
guys.
tonight.
Cheers.
It's good to
Cheers.
see everybody.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.